Alright, this is a quick review of the very inexpensive Plano Pro Max single scope rifle case. I say inexpensive because it's cheap, frankly. It's a hard case, but it only costs about $20 on Amazon right now. This isn't the case that you would buy to hook up to your four-wheeler and go bashing around in the woods and take it out to hunt, but it is a good case for putting it into your truck and taking it to the range, or for storing your rifle in a closet. Alright, let's start by reviewing the outside of this case. It does have these crush protection zones where there is a blow molded piece that really creates a bridge between both sides of the case, and that is very rigid at those points. But at other places, like the center of this case, there isn't a lot of protection here, so if you were to press on it, you can probably see that it's bending in the video there, because it is fairly thin and flexible plastic. And the entire thing is made of plastic, so there's no metal reinforced hinge or anything of that nature. There are holes in this case that you could use to lock the case up, or to hook a strap up to, so that you could carry it over your shoulder on a strap with maybe carabiners in those holes. It's just another option. There are also feet on the bottom of this case. You can see those 2 feet that allow you to stand it on its side, so it can sit up like that. There are 4 plastic buckles on this case to open it. Alright, this is the case opened up with a Crosman 22 caliber nitro venom and a handgun, actually, kind of a long handgun, along with some pellets that I use for that particular gun. And there is plenty of room for magazines and ammunition in here if you wanted to. I could double up the pellets fairly easily. You could probably put 7 or 8 pellet tins in there with these guns. Alright, so I threw a tape measure in there so you could see the size of these guys. So my rifle is about 45 inches long, and there's approximately 52 inches of space lengthwise from end to end inside of this case. And vertically at the point of your trigger to about the top of your scope is about 9 inches of vertical space at the lowest point where the handle is. So there's a little bit more space further back. Do you want to show you the thickness of the plastic and how flexible it really is, because when I twist it, and I'm putting pretty good force on this, it is moving around because I'm twisting it around. So it is fairly pliable material, and actually that can be a good thing because it can absorb some hits that your gun won't have to absorb. One area that I do wish that they'd spent a little bit more time on when they were designing this case is this handle, because it does have a fairly sharp edge here that does dig into your hand when you're carrying it any long distance. So the foam in this case is not glued down, and it is fairly thin. So if you look at that, you can see it's not the thickest stuff, but it does do a good job of holding in the gun and keeping it from sliding around. So if you look at, like, here, you can tell that when I carried it out here that it didn't slide down and press into these. It is supported inside of the case by the foam. Alright, if you're concerned that there's not enough padding in this case for you, you can always man up and go to the fabric store and pick up some of this foam batting, I think they called it. This is 1/2 inch thick foam, and you could layer it up in the places that you want it to be thicker and add a little bit more protection to your gun. Alright, so I laid the batting out with a straight edge along the bottom, and then I've got my magic marker here. I'm just going to go through and draw on everything that needs to be cut, and then use those scissors to cut it out. Let's get started. Okay, now when we peel this away, you'll see the outline that I need to cut out. Pretty simple. Certainly doesn't need to be perfect, this close. Alright, that's roughly cut out. Let's install it. Alright, that's with the foam installed. Then we can throw the original foam over top of that. And if you really want to secure that, you could always use some 3M spray adhesive and glue them together and make one uniform piece. I will probably go through and punch a little hole in the batting below this where the trigger lock hits it, just to give it a little bit more relief in those spots, so it's not under quite so much pressure in just little pinpoint areas. But It's just an idea. You don't need to do that, but if you're not happy with the foam that comes with it and you want to create a little bit more beefy case for very little money, it's certainly a quick and easy way to do it. So would I recommend this case? The answer is yes, but it really does depend. If you're planning to go off-roading with this thing and having it bouncing around in the bed of your truck, or mounting it to a four-wheeler, absolutely this is not the case for you. But if you're just going to use it to store your gun in a closet and haul it to the range, then it's a great case. It's a super value, really no matter what gun you have. But depending on what your gun is and what you're planning to do with it and what you expect of your case, you may want to invest more money and get a higher quality case. But for most folks that don't plan to really abuse this case, this is going to work great for you.